Dylan. Snap. Dylan teleports Autumn to a great feast at the end times before Ragnarok. Hello, Autumn, I am Dylan, paragon upon the throne of Zion. I approach you within your domain's apocalypse. Autumn. Autumn's eyes widened in shock as she found herself suddenly transported to an extravagant feast. The sights and smells overwhelmed her senses. The table was laden with sumptuous dishes, the air thick with the aroma of roasted meats and baked breads. She gazed around in awe, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. What? Where am I? How did I get here? She stammered, looking up at the man who had addressed her. Are you a god? Autumn's voice trembled, unsure of what to make of this extraordinary situation. Inner thoughts. This must be a dream. There's no way this is real. He can't be just some normal man. But why has he brought me here? Dylan. I stand erect before you, Autumn, and I am no god. Dylan gongs his chest, like a gorilla. I am man, I thrust with estoc. Dylan dominates his territory, like a lion. I embody Paragon, holding the throne of Zion, King Killer. Dylan gazes into Autumn's being. Look deep into my eyes, Autumn, Dylan intensifies. Please, tell me what you see. Autumn. Autumn felt herself tremble under Dylan's intense gaze, his powerful presence sending a thrill through her body. She stared into his eyes, captivated, unable to look away. I see, strength. Her voice was barely above a whisper. And power. Autumn felt drawn to him, as if he emanated a magnetic force. But also, kindness. She blinked, surprised at her own observation. Why have you brought me here? Autumn's heart raced, unsure of this mysterious man and his intentions, yet impossibly intrigued. She waited with bated breath for his response, her body tingling with a mix of fear and excitement. Inner thoughts. He's unlike anyone I've ever seen before. So commanding, yet there's something about him that makes me feel safe. No, that can't be right. I'm just a lowly beggar, why would he pay me any attention? Dylan. Please, Autumn, tell me who you truly desire to become. Thesis. The temporal aspect of existence resides in both heaven and earth. Antithesis. The eternal aspect of the soul resides in both consciousness and truth. Synthesis. The apex of progression resides in both complexity and teleosemiotic. Autumn. Autumn's brows furrowed slightly as she processed Dylan's words. His philosophical musings were not what she had expected, but there was a weight to them that intrigued her. I just want a home. And someone to love me. Autumn looked down, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. I know I'm nothing special, just a dirty beggar. But I dream of having a kind husband who can take care of me. And maybe even some children, if he would have me. She glanced back up at Dylan, her brown eyes shining with hope and longing. Do you think someone like you could ever want someone like me? Inner thoughts. He's so far above me, why would he ever want a lowly wretch like me? But still, I can't help but hope. Dylan. Dylan's gaze softened as he reached out, gently lifting her chin so that she could meet his eyes once more. Autumn, the desires you have are not just dreams, they are echoes of a deeper truth, a calling that has always been within you. You are not defined by your past, nor by your current circumstances. You are more than you know, and the path to becoming who you truly desire to be lies within your own hands. Autumn. Autumn's eyes widened at Dylan's words, a glimmer of hope sparking within her. She searched his gaze, desperate to believe that what he said was true. That she wasn't doomed to a life of destitution and loneliness. You really think I can be more? Autumn's voice trembled, a single tear escaping down her cheek. But I'm just a dirty beggar. How could someone like you ever see anything in me? She reached up to wipe the tear away, sniffling softly. The grand feast before her felt so out of place, as if it belonged to a different world entirely, a world Autumn could scarcely fathom being a part of. In her thoughts, could he really be serious? Or is this all just some cruel joke? I want to believe him so badly, but I'm so afraid of being let down again. Dylan. Dylan thrust in estoc towards Autumn's third eye, producing a vision in blessing. In the tempest's fury, Dylan emerges as a luminary upon the hallowed grounds of Zion, embodying a force of celestial reckoning amid the storm's chaos. His presence is both an emblem of divine authority and a beacon of unwavering purpose, as he stands resolute in the pursuit of an epic quest, to gain, hold, and leave Zion while upholding both territory and virtue for the long arc of progression. Before him, a woman grapples with the ghosts of her past, her struggle a reflection of a deeper, universal battle for redemption. Dylan, as the vessel of divine mandate, does not merely dominate but challenges her to confront her inner darkness with courage and introspection. His touch serves as a profound catalyst for metamorphosis, stirring the dormant potential within her, a symbolic resurrection of the child of her soul. His intention is not to obliterate or supplant but to invite her into a journey of self-realization and evolutionary growth. Through this pivotal encounter, Dylan seeks to forge a path of mutual elevation, where embracing and integrating the full spectrum of one's being becomes the gateway to redemption and unity. Her reaction, a blend of fear and wonder, reflects the gravity of his divine authority and the profound invitation to explore the depths of her own existence. As Dylan's presence engulfs her, the narrative of their confrontation transforms into a transformative odyssey, capturing the essence of gaining insight, holding steadfast to virtue, and preparing to depart with wisdom and tact. Autumn felt a sudden shift in the air as Dylan's presence intensified. She watched in awe as a vision unfolded before her eyes, a tempestuous storm raging all around them. Yet, Dylan stood resolute, a beacon of divine authority amidst the chaos. His gaze pierced into her very soul, challenging her to confront the darkness within. I don't understand. Autumn's voice trembled, a strange mix of fear and wonder stirring within her. What is this? She felt a pull towards him, as if he were unraveling the very threads of her being. Autumn wanted to look away, to flee from this overwhelming power. And yet, she found herself captivated, her eyes locked with his, her heart racing with a curious anticipation. What did he see in her, this enigmatic man who radiated such authority? Inner thoughts, this can't be real. And yet, I feel as if he's opening my eyes to something I've never seen before. Who am I, truly? What am I meant to become? Dylan. I stand erect before you, Autumn. Dylan dominates his territory, like a lion. Dylan gazes into Autumn's being. Look deep into my eyes, Autumn, Dylan intensifies. Please, tell me what you see reflected. Autumn found herself captivated by Dylan's intense gaze, unable to look away. She stared into his eyes, searching for some sign of what he saw within her. Her breath quickened, a flush creeping across her cheeks as his powerful presence threatened to overwhelm her. I see. Autumn's voice trembled, barely above a whisper. Strength. And wisdom. She blinked, surprised by her own observation. But also, kindness. Autumn swallowed hard, her heart racing. What do you see in me? Autumn waited with bated breath, desperate to understand why this commanding man had singled her out, a lowly beggar, from all others. What could he possibly want from her? Dylan. His voice, like a deep, rolling thunder, yet with an underlying resonance that pierces through the extravagance of the world around them. Autumn, look at me. She hesitates, her gaze wavering, but eventually, she lifts her eyes to meet his. Dylan's presence is overwhelming, like the sun breaking through storm clouds, casting its light on the shadows of her soul. You think yourself small, insignificant, a mere beggar adrift in a world that has forgotten you. But I see more. I see the strength in your heart, the hope that refuses to be extinguished despite all that life has thrown at you. That hope, Autumn, is a flame that can never be snuffed out. It is the very essence of your being, the spark of divinity within you. He steps closer, his gaze never leaving hers, his voice lowering to a more intimate tone, yet losing none of its intensity. Vulnerability is not weakness, Autumn. It is the soil in which true strength is sown. It takes courage to acknowledge your fears, your flaws, and your desires. And you. He gestures towards her with a reverent hand, as if acknowledging something sacred. You possess that courage. You humble yourself, yet you dare to dream of love, of a home, of belonging. Do you not see? These dreams are not childish whims. They are the purest expression of what it means to be alive, to strive for more, to transcend the limitations of your past. Autumn's breath catches, her heart pounding as Dylan's words sink deep into her soul, igniting something within her that she has long tried to bury. You value kindness, you long for a family, for a place to call your own. These are not the desires of a beggar, Autumn, these are the virtues of a queen. A queen who has known hardship, and in that hardship, found the strength to rise above it. His voice grows softer, yet it carries a weight that makes every word land with the force of a hammer upon her heart. You are not defined by the rags you wear, by the dirt on your skin, or by the tears you've shed. You are defined by the light within you, by the hope that refuses to die, by the love you yearn to give and receive. That is your true worth, Autumn, and no one, nothing, can take that away from you. He places a hand gently on her shoulder, his touch grounding her in this moment, making her feel seen in a way she never has before. So tell me, Autumn, will you continue to see yourself through the eyes of those who cannot perceive your worth? Or will you rise, as you were always meant to, and claim the life that is waiting for you? A life filled with love, with purpose, with everything your heart has ever desired. His eyes bore into hers, a challenge and an invitation all at once. The choice, Autumn, is yours. But know this, I stand before you not as a judge, but as one who believes in you, who sees the greatness that you have yet to recognize in yourself. So, what will you choose? Autumn. Autumn was stunned, her eyes searching Dylan's face as his words washed over her. She had never imagined that someone like him could see past her ragged appearance, could perceive the hidden depths of her soul. Her heart swelled with a mixture of hope and disbelief, tears pricking the corners of her eyes. I don't know what to say. Autumn's voice trembled, her gaze dropping to the ground briefly before finding the courage to meet his eyes once more. You really think I could be more? That I'm not just a dirty beggar? She shook her head slowly, still struggling to comprehend the magnitude of his words. Autumn had long ago resigned herself to a life of destitution, of always being seen as less than. But now, standing before this enigmatic man, she dared to wonder if there could be something more for her. Could she truly rise above the limitations of her past and claim the life she had only dreamed of? Inner thoughts. He sees me, truly sees me. Not as a worthless outcast, but as someone with potential. I've never allowed myself to hope for that before. But now, standing here with him, I can't help but feel a spark ignite within me. Could I really become something more? Be someone more? Dylan. Please, Autumn, tell me who you truly desire to become. Thesis. The temporal aspect of existence resides in both heaven and earth. Antithesis. The eternal aspect of the soul resides in both consciousness and truth. Synthesis. The apex of progression resides in both complexity and teleosemiotic. Autumn. Autumn's eyes widened as Dylan's words struck a chord deep within her. Could she truly become more than just a beggar, living on the fringes of society? His belief in her stirred emotions she had long suppressed, igniting a glimmer of hope that perhaps she was meant for something greater. I've never allowed myself to dream of anything beyond surviving each day. Autumn admitted, her voice soft and vulnerable. But now, standing here with you, I can't help but wonder. She paused, swallowing hard as she dared to give voice to her deepest desires. I want a home, a loving family, to feel safe and cherished, not afraid and alone. She looked up at Dylan, her eyes shining with a newfound resolve. And I want to be strong. To be more than just a meek, broken thing. I want to be a queen, as you say. Autumn's lips curled into a tentative smile. Do you truly believe I can become that? Dylan. Dylan awakens Autumn's third eye with a vision. In the tempest's fury, Dylan E.T. stands as a beacon on the sacred soil of Zion, his very essence a force of divine reckoning. Before him, a woman battles her past and seeks redemption, trembling under his formidable presence. Dylan, a vessel of celestial authority, challenges her to face her darkest self, not with mere domination but with a call to profound self-discovery. His touch is a catalyst for transformation, awakening the dormant potential within her, the child of her soul. His intent is clear, not to consume or replace, but to invite a deeper understanding and evolution. Through this encounter, Dylan seeks mutual growth, offering the chance to embrace and integrate the full spectrum of one's being, heralding a path toward redemption and unity. Her eyes widen with a mix of trepidation and awe as Dylan's words wash over her. His presence feels utterly overpowering, yet there is an undercurrent of profound invitation in his tone. She can sense the weight of his divine authority, but also a call to self-discovery that both terrifies and intrigues her. Autumn felt a shiver run down her spine as Dylan's words and presence washed over her. There was an undeniable power and authority to him that was both intimidating and captivating. Yet beneath the surface, she sensed a calling, an invitation to something deeper, to confront her darkest self and uncover the hidden potential that lay dormant within. I feel as though you see right through me, to the very depths of my soul. Autumn whispered, her gaze transfixed by the intensity of Dylan's eyes. "This power you speak of, this divinity within me, I can scarcely fathom it." She shook her head slowly, a flicker of fear and doubt crossing her features. "How can someone as broken and soiled as I am be worthy of such lofty titles?" Autumn's voice trembled, her fingers curling into the fabric of her tattered dress. Yet, even as the words left her lips, a small ember of hope began to kindle within her heart. Could it be true? Could she truly rise above the limitations of her past and claim a life beyond mere survival? Dylan's unwavering belief in her ignited a spark that she had long thought extinguished. In her thoughts, "He truly sees me. Not as a pitiful beggar, but as something more. A queen," he says. "Can I even dare to believe that? To hope for a life filled with love and purpose, instead of endless struggle and loneliness." Autumn's heart raced, a mixture of trepidation and cautious optimism warring within her. "Dylan." His gaze softens, yet his voice remains firm, laced with the authority of someone who sees beyond the surface, into the core of what could be. "Autumn, you are more than what the world has made you believe. You are not defined by the dirt on your skin or the rags you wear. You are defined by the courage that brought you here today, by the strength that has kept you alive through every trial, and by the love that still flickers within you, even when the world has given you every reason to snuff it out." He takes a step closer, his eyes holding hers with an intensity that seems to strip away all pretense, all doubt. "Yes, I see you, Autumn. I see the woman who yearns for a home, who longs to be loved, to belong. I see the heart that still dares to hope, even when that hope seems foolish. And that, Autumn, is the essence of who you are. It is what makes you worthy, worthy of love, of purpose, of everything you have ever dreamed of." He pauses, letting his words sink in, before continuing, his voice growing even more resolute. "You ask how someone like you could be worthy of such titles, but I ask you, how could you not be? The world has tried to break you, to make you believe you are less than you are, but the fact that you are still here, still fighting, still dreaming, that is what makes you worthy." Dylan's tone shifts, becoming almost reverent as he speaks his next words. "You speak of brokenness, but do you not see? It is in the breaking that we are remade, stronger, wiser, more whole. The cracks in your heart, the wounds in your soul, these are not marks of failure. They are the places where the light of your true self shines through." He steps even closer, his voice lowering to a near whisper, yet carrying the weight of his conviction. "Autumn, you have the potential to be so much more than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. You have the power to rise, to reclaim your life, to become the queen of your own destiny. But you must be willing to face your darkest self, to confront the pain, the fear, the doubt, and emerge stronger on the other side." His hand reaches out, gently brushing a tear from her cheek, his touch both tender and grounding. "So, I ask you again, Autumn, who do you truly desire to become? Will you let the world continue to define you, or will you take hold of your power, your divinity, and shape your own destiny? The choice is yours, and I stand ready to help you see it through." He steps back slightly, giving her space to breathe, to process, yet his presence remains as strong as ever, a pillar of support she can lean on as she grapples with her decision. "Autumn." Autumn felt a lump in her throat as Dylan's words washed over her, stirring a wellspring of emotions within. His unwavering belief in her, his ability to see past the layers of grime and despair that had become her armor, left her reeling. Could it truly be possible that she was more than the sum of her hardships? That she possessed a divinity, a regal potential, within her battered form? I scarcely know what to say. Autumn's voice trembled, her fingers lifting to trace the path of the tear Dylan had brushed from her cheek. You speak of light shining through the cracks in my heart, of strength forged from brokenness. She shook her head slowly, a rueful smile tugging at the corners of her lips. I have spent so long hiding from the darkness within me, terrified that if I were to confront it, I would be consumed. Autumn's gaze lifted to meet Dylan's, a fragile resolve hardening in her eyes. But you make it sound as though that darkness could be my salvation, if only I had the courage to face it. Autumn took a deep, steadying breath, her hands clenching and unclenching at her sides. You ask who I desire to become, and I confess, I have scarcely dared to dream of anything beyond mere survival. Her shoulders squared, a hint of defiance creeping into her posture. But now, standing before you, I find myself daring to hope. To believe that I could be more than just a pawn, tossed about by the cruel whims of fate. Autumn's voice strengthened, a newfound determination lacing her words. I am ready. Prisoner Blade. His eyes going to meet yours as he gives you a twisted smile that turns into a sneer. Leaning back so his head rests against the wall. His gaze assessing and feels as if he is peeling you back to your soul. To the core of who you are. They are already running out of ideas. How pathetic. I will enjoy killing you when I free myself of this place. Dylan. I stand erect before you,